Hello everyone, CMeeCraft here, and welcome to a first look at Adventure of a Lifetime, Sora to Umegaherua Kanata. I presume that's Adventure of a Lifetime in Japanese, or a close equivalent. Yeah, so today we're going to be taking a look at this game. From what I understand, it's a visual novel of some description, but let's get into it. Let's start. Oh, an achievement already. Yay. It's true that I grew up in the middle of a totally unremarkable commuter town. Where are you from? Game. Where am I from? When people ask me that, it's the ocean that springs to mind. Even now, I can see that endless blue expanse, stretching out as far as the eye can see. My mind is right there in those beautiful, clear waters. Somewhere near the bottom. Even down here, light from the surface still reaches me. The sparkling rays of the sun illuminate the otherworldly scenery. So quiet, so peaceful. Oh, fish. And even as fish swim by, it feels like I'm drifting through the sky. But then I start swimming after her. Wait up, Kursa. As I struggle to keep up, or is it Chissa? It might be Chissa. Chissa turns to me. Hurry up or I'll leave you behind, she says while making a teasing gesture. I can't help but wonder how she swims like that. It's like watching a sea creature in the wild. She's so at home in the water. I've never been a great swimmer myself, so I can only try to keep up. So why would I even consider the bottom of the sea as my home, too? To be honest, I don't really get it myself. I guess my memories of the sea are just much more vivid than anything on land. I'll probably never experience anything like it in my life again. There's something my grandpa always used to say. Life is adventure. It was that attitude that suddenly took him away to a tropical island. My grandpa really loved that ocean. As I watched the bubbles float away from me, I noticed the sun's rays filtered down through the water. The ocean floor looks pretty, but that beauty has a cruel edge to it. Humans didn't evolve to survive in that kind of environment. Maybe that's why it's easy to feel lonely when you're at the bottom. Just what would happen if I were left down here all alone? Come on, let's get moving! Lucky for me, I'm not alone. I have a buddy. The girl tugging insistently on my arm. Even years after journeying through that deep blue, I can still remember how her touch always kept me calm. That might explain why. Why when I see the ocean, I feel like I've come home. Interesting. Nice poetic start. Ooh, boats. I like boats, I guess, maybe. It was that moment just before dawn, where the sky gradually lightens. The ship was cutting through the gentle waves, sailing further into the Pacific. Unable to sleep, I left my second-class cabin and its rock-hard mattress behind to take a walk. Hiroki. Sure is nice and cool this time of day. The smell of the salty air brought back all kinds of memories of summers past. But it'd be another 6 hours until the boat arrived at the island. 6 hours wasn't a lot compared to the 4 years I'd been away. But with nothing to do, I was really bored. Feeling restless, I went up on deck. Huh, someone else is here. I didn't think I'd run into any other passengers at this hour. Oh. Hello. I guess. But over by the deck railing was a girl looking out toward the horizon. The sea breeze was blowing her hair around. Her hair was pale blonde, but it looked natural. From what I could see of her face, she didn't look Japanese. She was really pretty. A beautiful girl silhouetted against all the colors of the pre-dawn sky. It was like something out of a movie. The only thing that felt out of place were her clothes. Why the school uniform? I mean, come on. Well, I mean, it's a visual novel. There has to be school uniforms, right? Those sailor-style uniforms were common in the city, and she looked about my age, so she was probably in high school. Could she be a foreign exchange student? All the way out here? I just couldn't figure it out. The girl finally seemed to notice me. Hello? She ignored me and turned away. Maybe I should have just left her alone. Yeah, maybe. She looks deep in thought or something. Probably doesn't want to have conversation right now. Maybe you can't understand me. Should I try another language? I don't know how to say good morning, though. Why don't you just say good morning? The girl said in flawless Japanese. Which, yes, Japanese. Yes. I may not look it, but I am Japanese, you know? Well, half Japanese. She sounded irritated. Darn, I didn't come off as irritated. It must be annoying when someone assumes you don't speak their language just because of your appearance. I guess that was pretty rude of me. I'm sorry. It's fine. She went back to gazing out across the water, her expression still a little sad. Oh, what's this? We've got some info. Ogasawara Islands. World Heritage Site islands in the Pacific Ocean, 1,000 kilometers southeast of Tokyo. In over 30 islands, only Chichinjima and Hahajima are populated, with Chichijima being the transport link between the mainland and Ogasawara. Wildlife has evolved to be unique, but many creatures are endangered due to land development. The seasons vary little, with almost no change between summer and winter. Cool. The boat we were on was a ferry service. It was taking us to the Ogasawara Islands from Tokyo, but it would take 24 hours. The passengers were mostly tourists, people traveling for pleasure. I guess that included me too. Okay, are we done with this notification? Nope, okay. But this girl was different. She didn't look like she was here for fun. What brings you to Ogasawara? Guess she doesn't want to talk. But I'm nothing if not persistent. The best quality to have. Persistence. I'm going there to visit my grandma. It's been 4 years since I last saw her. Still no response. So, you ever been diving? Scuba, I mean. You know, with the tanks and stuff. You should give it a try. There are places around here you can go even if you're not licensed. The atmosphere just seemed to get more awkward the more I spoke. Yeah, it sounds like a typical day. Just as I was starting to regret saying anything in the first place, I finally got a response. I hate the ocean. Then why come here? I mean, if there's one surefire way to increase the amount of ocean in your life, it's going on this boat to this island. I blurted out without thinking. If you didn't like the ocean, then Ogasawara was not the place for you. The blonde girl fell silent again, deep in thoughts. As if on cue, a sudden noise rang out, snapping her out of her reverie. The girl took her ringing smartphone out of her pocket and glared at the screen. Ugh, why don't you leave me alone already? With one last disgusted look at the device that dared to disrupt her quiet thoughts, she raised her hand above her head, then swung her arm forward. Oh. Hey! And her phone flew from her hand out into the sea. Well, that seems like a waste of money. The piercing ringtone became more and more distant before it vanished completely. What do you think you're doing? That wasn't a skipping stone. It's fine. I don't need it anymore. That's not the point. The ocean's not your trash can. Huh? She probably wasn't expecting me to call her on littering. Think about the damage to the environment. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh man, now we're too far away to get it back. I leaned over the handrail as far as I could, but there was no chance of getting the phone back. After an uncomfortable silence, she grumbled a complaint. That's why I hate the ocean anyway. I guess she just needed to let off some steam. You know, ocean is pretty much all there is in Ogasawara. What's she doing on this boat if she doesn't like the sea? A gust of wind blew toward us. Brushing her long blonde hair out of her face, the girl spoke again. There's something I need to get back. Something precious that sank into the ocean years ago. After that, she said no more. She just stared out at the sky as dawn turned into day. I could tell she wanted to be alone, so I decided to head back to my cabin. Before leaving the deck, I took one last look at this enigmatic girl. A journey to get back something precious lost at sea. It sounded like a silly reason for a trip, but there was something in her expression that told me she was dead serious. Even as I walked back to my cabin, I couldn't wipe that girl's serious face from my mind. The adventure of a lifetime. Sora to Ume ga Horea Kanata. Lots of achievements just happening, I will note. Oh, Chichijama, part of the Chichijama archipelago, the second largest island in the Ogasawaras, and along with Anijima and Otsujima make the Chichijima archipelago. Iwajima is the largest, however. It's 300 kilometers away. These deep ocean islands have never been connected to the continents, and as a result have an abundance of unique native species. Cool. It was 11:34 a.m. After a quiet voyage, the ferry docked in Futamai port on Chichijima, the transport hub of Ogasawara. Alright, it's finally here. I stepped off the boat, glad to have my feet on solid ground again. Oh, Futamai Port. A westward port located on the north of Chichijima that connects Ogasawara and the mainland. It also serves as a shelter from storms for nearby ships. It only sees one liner a week, 2 in busy seasons. The port was packed with tourists just arriving and locals coming to welcome them. Pictured. A packed port. I glanced over the crowd of people standing with what looked like hotel signs in their hands. Someone was supposed to be meeting me here. A no-show, huh? Oh well. It's not like this was my first time here. I already knew where to go. As I was walking down a familiar road, the crowd of people came forward to question the ferry's passengers. From what I could make out, they were looking for someone, and not just to take them to their hotel. I wonder what's going on. It was none of my business, really, or so I thought. That's when I caught sight of a girl hiding in the shadows, doing her best to sneak away unnoticed. Oh, it's you again. Hey, aren't you... It was the girl in the sailor uniform I'd seen on deck early this morning. Shh. Hey, you there! One older man fought through the crowd and made his way toward us. The blonde girl behind me flinched reflexively. Aren't you Machiko's grandson, Hiro? Huh? Oh, yes. Hi, how are you? I used to see this guy around all the time back when I visited the islands more often. I thought that was you. Gosh, you've grown. It's good to see you again. What's going on here? We've been asked to find a missing person. Don't suppose you've seen a young girl with blonde hair around, have you? Well... She's actually right behind me. But I couldn't bring myself to rat her out. At this rate, they'd find her soon anyway. Oh, art style change. Huh. Neat. Who's that you got with you, Hiro? And just like that, she was got. Oh, her that... This is, you see... What's the matter, big brother? I said, is something wrong, big brother? Oh, right. Of course, this is my younger sister. Sure is nice weather today, huh? Sure is, big bro. Our eyes and hair were completely different colors. We didn't look the least bit alike. Oh, huh. I never knew you had a sister. Yeah, well, this is the first time I've brought her to Ogasawara. She was looking forward to summer vacation so much she even dyed her hair. Such a brat. The man's eyes were boring into me now. Well, we'd better get going. Lots to do today. Come on, sis. Right, bro. I grabbed her hand and led her away as fast as I could without looking suspicious. That's one way to do it. Okay, I think this is far enough.
Phew. Yeah.
Oh. Omura Beach. A beach near Futamai Port. Since it's the closest beach to the port, it's popular with tourists as well. Its beaches are made of coral dust, a local term for the coral that has been ground to a sandy texture by the waves. Sometimes you can find lovely, unbroken pieces of coral mixed in as well. From the port, we headed along Umaru Beach before turning into Ogasawara Park. Oh, sorry. I realized I was still holding her hand. Oh, Ogasawara Park, an ocean-facing city park on Chichijima, comprised of hilly Ogasawara area and the flat section of central Umura, facing Futamai Port. It hosts a wide variety of natural environments. There are wooden stages during summer festivals, and the Bond Festival is held here. She blushed, rubbing her wrist gently.
Don't worry. You saved me back there after all. Hiro, right?
Hiroki Mizuno, at your service. And you are?
Emily Shirase.
We met this morning, right? On the deck of the ferry?
Huh? Oh.
It seems like she finally remembered me. Maybe she was too busy trying to get away to notice before. I could only wonder what she was running from, all alone and still in her school uniform. Emily took a plastic bottle out of her bag and gulped down some juice. She'd really worked up a sweat during our escape. I soon realized I was just as tired. Too bad there weren't any vending machines nearby.
Want a sip?
Huh?
Consider it a reward for helping me out. Sorry, it's nothing fancy.
Oh, thanks. I took the plastic bottle and stared at it for a moment. I wasn't used to sharing drinks with someone, and I guess that it must not be a big deal, wherever she was from. Then again, when I first met Emily, she did bring up the fact that she is Japanese. If this was just a girl from my class, I probably wouldn't freak out so much, but she was so beautiful. Doing my best to look casual, I took a few sips. It was only orange juice, but right then it felt like the best thing I'd ever tasted. I was probably thirstier than I'd realized.
If I ever get the chance, I'd like to thank you properly.
Don't worry, it was nothing. I mean, honestly, like, what could I have done, you know? Anyways, all I did was grab her hand and run after all. Back at Umura Beach, there's a little spot called Machiko's Cafe. My grandma runs it, and she's a really good cook. Come by sometime if you'd like. Lots of grandmas running restaurants and visual novels, as it turns out.
Sure, that sounds nice.
Emily flashed me a bright smile before turning away.
Thank you, Hiro.
She looked back at me one last time before waving and quickly walking away. I watched her until she was out of sight. She looks really nice when she smiles. Compared to when I saw her on the deck, on the verge of tears, I thought this smiling face suited her better. Okay, cool. What a fun encounter. Anyways, with that little adventure concluded, I headed back to Futamai Port. What was up with her anyway? I hope she wasn't a stowaway or something. She left the boat the same as the rest of us, so probably not. She didn't look like she would cause trouble either. But I still felt a nagging uncertainty. I had gotten so caught up in helping her, I wasn't sure if that was even the right thing to do now. I thought about asking the people searching for her for more information, but they had already moved on. The port had been so busy before, but now it was almost deserted with only a few tourists milling about with cameras. Apart from the tourists was a girl standing alone, looking bored. She was around the same age as me, with a tan and long black hair tied in a ponytail. Could that be her? She might be the person who was supposed to meet me here, but I wasn't sure, so I tried getting a little closer. Is it her? I really can't tell. It had been 4 years since I'd seen her. And people do change. I had grown more than 7 inches in that time, and probably looked different in other ways too. Excuse me. The girl's ponytail bounced as she turned to face me with a blank expression. Crap. Wrong person after all. Standing next to her this closely, it was obvious she was different from the person I was looking for. I was looking for a tomboy, not a cute young lady. Sorry, my mistake. I tried to laugh off the mistake, but just then, a cry of distress rang out behind us. Ah! Owen had dropped her camera in the sea, while trying to take a photo of the ferry setting sail. Oh no, my camera! Wow, that's a new way to start a vacation, huh? Whoa. Whoa. Without another word, the girl beside me started taking off her clothes. What the? She didn't stop at her jacket, but slipped out of her shorts too, her skin glowing under the sun. I made a real effort not to stare, but this wasn't something you saw every day. It took me by surprise, definitely. What the hell are you doing? Out in public, no less? To my surprise, she wasn't wearing regular underwear, but a bikini swimsuit. Yeah, makes sense, I guess, given the place.
Hold these a sec, I'll be right back.
Shoving her clothes into my hands, the girl with the tan and ponytail kicked off her sandals and ran.
Hey, where are you going? I gotta go get that camera.
By the water's edge, the woman paced back and forth, worried about her camera. The girl casually ran right past her. And with a jump, she dove right in. What a good Samaritan. What? She dove off? I was so shocked and confused, I found myself staring down into the sea alongside the woman who'd lost her camera.
Oh my goodness! Will she be alright?
I have a feeling she will be. She was always reckless, so I guess that hasn't changed. I said, mumbling my thoughts out loud. Now I knew it had to be her. After a few minutes, a hand holding a camera shot out of the water. Although, I mean, let's be honest here, that unless it's a specific type of camera that's built to handle water, which granted, given the location they went to, it could be, that's still gonna be damaged. Followed by a head.
Phew, don't worry, ma'am, I found it.
The woman stared in silent amazement. But the sidewalk was pretty high above the water's surface, so the girl couldn't climb back up. She'd have to swim around to a place where she could climb up, or get someone to pull her up. Here, grab my hand. I reached out toward the girl, who stared blankly for just a second before shaking her head.
No, I'm okay. Just stand back a little.
I did as she asked, a bit confused. Then, with a mighty splash, the girl leapt right out of the water.
Ah!
What? A large animal several times her size left from the water with her.
A dolphin?
Wait, what? Is she like a dolphin whisperer too? What the heck? The girl used a boost from the dolphin to help her jump. A moment later, she was back on the shore.
There we go. Back, safe and sound.
Meanwhile, the dolphin dove back below the waves, sending water everywhere, as one would expect given the presence of a dolphin. A dolphin.
Hey, come on now. You did that on purpose.
I guess that's a dolphin. That's what dolphins sound like. The dolphin poked its head up and gave a squeak that sounded a lot like laughing.
That's enough of your jokes for today.
Nice to see you haven't changed too much, Chisa. You look different, so I didn't recognize you at first, but there's only one girl I know crazy enough to dive into the sea like that.
Oh, so that was you, Hiroki. Hiroki.
We stared at one another for a moment longer, as a flood of memories finally helped us recognize each other. This was, without a doubt, my childhood friend, Chisa Ogasawara, come to welcome me back.
Hold on, I should return this.
She gave the camera back to the tourist, who was still stunned, barely able to believe what she'd just seen.
I hope it's not broken. Thank you. I bought a waterproof one, so it should be fine.
See, waterproof. Boom.
Glad to hear it. Excuse me, but are you the dolphin girl? Huh? Oh, yeah, I am.
Chisa gave a forced smile.
I thought so. I saw you swimming with a dolphin on TV. So then, that dolphin just now? Yes, that's Finn.
I wasn't sure if Finn was responding to his name or not, but he let out a series of friendly squeaks.
Oh, how cute!
The woman started taking pictures of Finn on her phone, and her recently recovered camera.
Good to know that the camera still works.
She just smiled wearily and left the tourist to her photography. Well, anyway, it's good to see you again, Chisa.
You too, Hiroki. But, what took you so long? Do you know how long I've been waiting?
Oh, sorry about that. I was, feeling nostalgic and, went for a walk. I had a feeling that telling her I ran off with a beautiful girl I met on the boat wouldn't be doing me any favors.
Jeez, you could have waited for me first.
Chisa glared at me while wringing out her wet ponytail. The action had me feeling some kind of way, so I had to look away. As far as appearances went, she had changed a lot. Last time I visited Ogasawara, I was still in elementary school. Back then, Chisa could easily have been mistaken for a boy. But now, well, not so much.
Something wrong?
That bikini was doing a great job of showing off Chisa's full figure. How's it go? The sun, her tan made it look like she was bursting with energy. When we were kids, she always had a tan, but this was different somehow. No. Not really. No.
Okay, whatever you say.
Finn looks like he's doing well. Eager to change the subject, I looked over to the dolphin. Other tourists had joined the woman, and they were all snapping photos like their lives depended on it. A born showman, Finn was darting around, letting everyone get a good look at him. Chisa looked worried, though.
You shouldn't get too close, folks.
But it was too late. With a flip of his tail, Finn sent a cascade of water over the assembled tourists.
Ah!
A moment later, they were all drenched from head to toe. And as for Finn, he clearly found the whole thing hilarious. His sweet and innocent demeanor gone, he looked all too pleased with himself.
Sorry, he kind of has a twisted sense of humor.
Finn sent a final spray of water our way before swimming off toward the open ocean. Okay. Well, that was exciting.
You're so big now, and more manly looking too. I had no idea who you were at first.
I was thinking the same too. More or less, although I guess not specifically manly. Anyway.
Really? Do I look that different?
Chisa glanced down at herself. She was partially dressed now, wearing her bikini top and shorts. Her well-defined curves were there for all to see, her skin glistening in the sun. It was quite obvious that she had changed, but she didn't seem to realize it herself, apparently. Well, your hair is longer now.
Oh, right.
Well, I mean, surely if she realizes how long it's been since I've been here, she would be able to do the math real quick and oh yeah, that event happened between, yes. We continued chatting as we made our way to my grandma's house. Machiko's Cafe. It was a quaint cafe with an open terrace so that the view could be enjoyed with the food and drinks served. It was usually open during lunch, but now there were no customers to be found.
When you called out to me, I thought you were just some random guy hitting on me. Happens a lot with the tourists.
I'm sure it does. I was still finding it hard to believe how different my good friend looked now. How do you deal with guys like that?
I usually turn them down and say I have a boyfriend, but if they're really persistent, I have to dive into the sea and swim away.
She said while mimicking the dive she did earlier.
That's why I always wear a swimsuit underneath my clothes.
So you wear it all the time?
Uh-huh.
As she struck a dynamic pose, her breasts squished together, creating some impressive cleavage. Great.
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. You can't say anything, because then it's like, oh, so you were looking. No. I could feel the blood rushing to my face.
Wait. Were you...
Shisa's gaze wandered down to her chest.
Nah, that couldn't be it.
Without waiting for an answer, she went to the back door and called out to my grandma.
Miss Machiku?
Machik? Oh, it's Machiku, but she's saying it in a, like, Miss Machiku! Hiroku's here! There was no reply.
Maybe she can't hear me.
She probably doesn't want to get up since her legs have gotten pretty bad. Don't worry, I got it from here. I picked up my bags and entered the cafe. But when I did...
How dare you come barging in like this?
Whoa! Grandma?
What are you up to, you troublemaker?
We talked on the phone. Remember, I told you I was coming to help.
I'm pretty sure I told you not to.
Grandma raised her cane threateningly.
Be careful, Miss Machiko. Why don't you just hop on a boat and go back to where you came from?
Watch it!
Just calm down, Grandma.
Both Shiza and I couldn't get through to her, though, so we decided to make a strategic retreat. Well, that was less than a warm welcome.
Jeez,
I was hoping she'd mellowed out a little.
I think it's great she still has so much fight in her.
Fight? More like full-on aggression. She's a hazard to my health. A few years ago, my grandpa passed away. Machiko's Cafe. A fictional, open-terraced cafe run by Hiroki's grandmother, Machiko. It's more of a diner than a coffee shop and has meal sets using locally gathered ingredients. It's a popular place for evening relaxation with locals, but since Machiko's legs are getting bad, it's been set to close this year. Grandma wanted to keep the cafe going, but her legs couldn't keep up. She told me she was going to close shop this summer. That's why I came back to Ogasawara to help out at the cafe one last time. Well, That was the plan. But I know how she is, so I wasn't surprised.
So what now? You know how stubborn Grandma is. She may never let you back in.
It's fine. I'll work something out. I'd actually come here knowing full well that this could happen. Anyway, where are you going next? Or where are we going next, even? With no place to stay, I just followed Chisa around for a while. Right now, we were in Chichima's shopping district.
It's still early and we've got lots of catching up to do, but there's one thing we need to get out of the way first.
What's that? Chisa stopped outside one of the few supermarkets on Chichijima.
Why, stocking up on supplies, of course.
There were already a lot of customers bustling around inside. Oh, yeah, today is cargo day. The Ogasawara Islands are so remote it takes 24 hours to get here from Tokyo, so life here was a little different from the rest of the country. One big difference was cargo day. When ships came in on cargo day, locals flooded the supermarkets. The ships carried over tourists like myself, but also the food and supplies needed for daily life. So, on cargo day, everyone was in a rush to get the latest goods. They'd buy in bulk to stow away until the next shipment. No one wanted to risk having to go without. That's just the way it was. This sure takes me back. It was one of the enduring aspects of the Ogasawaran lifestyle. Did you just bring me along to help you carry stuff?
No complaining. We're shopping for Michiko, as well as, you know.
Chisa waved a shopping list in my direction. Picking up extra supplies was all in a day's work for a good neighbor like her. And if that was the case, I couldn't complain, even if I had just gotten here. It was the least that I could do. I followed Chisa into the battlefield known as the local supermarkets. So heavy.
I'll take 2 if you need me to.
No. I'll be okay. I wouldn't be much of a gentleman if I did that. I said as I carried the 4 hefty shopping bags in my arms. These bags included a week's worth of food for Chisa's family, my grandma, and supplies for the cafe.
Oh, well, check you out.
Come on, don't tease me.
I'm not. I'm actually kind of happy to have a guy do something for me for once.
She was enjoying this way too much. She skipped off ahead of me like she didn't have a care in the world. I followed her back toward the cafe, hoping Grandma had cooled off by now. As we walked through the streets, I noticed tourists looking at us now and then. Some even called out to Chisa and asked if they could take a photo with her. Each time she politely declined. You're a real celebrity, huh?
It's such a pain.
Just as the woman at the harbor had said, Chisa had been on TV the other day. She was introduced as the Dolphin Girl of Ogasawara. A beautiful young girl who swam with her dolphin friend. Who wouldn't want to do a story on that? I didn't see it myself, only found out about it afterwards.
You didn't really miss anything.
She is blushing now, clearly uncomfortable with the subject. Finn was a stray dolphin that for some reason had been chased out of his pod. When Chisa first found him, he was tiny, weak, and injured, probably picked on by other dolphins. With some advice from a caretaker at the aquarium, she'd managed to nurse the dolphin back to health. And since he'd stay in the waters around Chichijima even after he recovered, he was still good friends with Chisa. We'd all played together as children, but I wasn't a great swimmer, and with Finn's personality, things didn't always go well. Even now, I tense up whenever I see a dolphin. I can't shake the feeling that they're hiding a devious nature beneath that cute facade. At least he taught me that some dolphins aren't as friendly as they look.
Well, you know, Finn.
You can't always judge by appearances, and that goes for humans and dolphins. Hey, Chisa! Right then, a slim but muscular guy pulled up beside us on a bike.
What's up, Ryota?
I'm out looking for someone, a girl about your age, blonde, wearing a school uniform. You seen her? Chisa shook her head.
I was at the harbor a while ago, but I don't think I saw anyone like that. What's your story?
Word is she's a runaway from home. My dad knows her dad, so now everyone's running around looking for her. Someone saw her get off the boat, but seems like Michiko's grandson, Hiro, helped her get away. And with that, Ryota and Ninamiya's eyes finally wandered over to the guy standing beside Chisa, holding the grocery bags. Who's this?
This is the hero from your story, Michiko's grandson.
She looked at me accusingly. By now, she said probably worked out why I hadn't been there when she came to meet me at the port. Hey, Ryota, been a while. For real? You're that hero? Dude, it's been years! Ryota said as he clapped his hands on my shoulder. Yeah, you look like you've been doing well. Yeah, I'm great. Ryota flashed a smile while flexing his biceps. While the three of us were kids, Ryota had always been the leader of our group. He looked a little bit like a delinquent, but he had a heart of gold underneath all those muscles. Oh wow, that is a lot of muscles.
So, what's this girl doing here? I'm guessing she's not just sightseeing.
Beats me, but everyone's losing their minds looking for her. Who knows, she might be suicidal or something. Oh god, I hope not.
You sure she's not just being rebellious?
I hope so. Is she a friend of yours, Hiro? I saw her on the ferry and we talked for a bit. It was really just by chance that we bumped into each other. I see, well, if you see her again, let me know. And with that, Ryota and his bicycle continued down the road.
Man, what a pain. These islands aren't a refuge for runaways.
Yeah. I'm starting to realize that my actions may have more serious consequences than I thought.
What are you fidgeting about?
I'm good. Say, how about we go for a walk for a bit?
The food won't last in this heat. If you want to go look for her, do it later.
It seemed that being left behind at the port had put Chisa in a bad mood. She briskly walked ahead. I picked up the bags and shuffled after her. Alright, and that seems like as good a spot as any to leave off this first look at Adventure of a Lifetime. Yeah, so it's an interesting visual novel. Kind of the camera work, I guess, is a bit different than a lot of other visual novels. It's got like a lot of more dynamic shots and stuff, which is interesting than you typically see, at least in my experience. I'd be surprised, given the setup, if there's not some type of romance plot or something down the line. They're certainly building a bit of intrigue with this girl that's apparently being hunted down or something. But anyway, overall, it seems quite well produced. You know, from just strictly speaking technical quality, it seems quite good, pretty good. And honestly, it's not too expensive for a visual novel of this quality. You know, it's, I think, $13 on Steam, which again, that's not bad. I don't know how long it is. I don't have a clue, but it seems it's probably a decent enough value. But anyways, guys, that'll do it for this first look. If you want to see more Adventure of a Lifetime, I'd be open to it. But if that's the case, make sure to show your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. And until next time, I've been CMeeCraft, and I'll catch you in perhaps more Adventure of a Lifetime, or other games, other visual novels and stuff. Goodbye.